Hey guys, how's it going? What I figure I'd do today is I'm preparing for just a quick lightweight overnight tomorrow. I'm just gonna go on this piece of adjacent property up here, about 175 acres, and I just want to kind of spend the night out there. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm gonna do for just a one night stay basically, and how I think through it. So my pack is gonna be my Eberlestock Bandit. I believe it's a 13-liter pack, maybe. But I really like it. It's lightweight and it rides on my shoulders pretty well. I have a shoulder injury. I have a titanium plate that goes across my right shoulder. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm going to be packing in it just for a quick overnight basically. So what we'll do is we'll start with the top bucket here, the top pocket. And we'll load that, and then we'll load the inside pouch, and then we'll load front capture flap and the bottle pockets just to show. So in the top pouch here, this is stuff I want to get to as quickly as possible. So number one is my headlamp. I want to be able to see at night because I'm going to be kind of setting up in the dark, possibly. We'll see. I'm going to throw a compass and some paste beads. I know the area pretty well, so if I'm wanting to do some self-mapping or do just some basic land navigation, maybe I want to box an area in or something, I can do that. Carrying a notebook just because you like to take notes. Sometimes I like to, if I think of something while I'm out there, write it down. It's really good to have. I'm gonna throw this in there. It's my ferro rod and my scraper for it, my striker. This will usually go into my pocket when I get out of my truck. So what will happen is I'll get out of my truck at the point in which I know I'm going to be entering the property. This will go onto my belt, and I'll just ride into my belt just like that. So if y'all can see, just D-ring clips right onto there. So I'll have that in the top of my pack, and then I'll unzip my pack and get to that. So that for sure. And then the other two things I have in my pocket, which is a length of paracord, and then redundancy, another ferro rod, but my Swiss Army knife and an X-Attack ferro rod. So this is kind of my my backup, but a small knife as well. So those will all go into the top of my pack as well, but they'll be transferred immediately into my pocket when I get out of my truck. I'm also going to throw my Hobo Forge pocket socket in here just to play around with it. I got it last week, and I want to do some friction fires with it. And I want to throw some ferro rod sparks and maybe do some flint and steel. So again, this is kind of a trip where I want to kind of experiment with some stuff and not really carry a lot of weight. So we're going super minimal. So yeah, so that will encompass just the top part of this pocket up here in the brain, and then we'll load the panel portion. So we'll switch the camera view and I can show you guys how I'm going to load that. All right, so we're going to load the internal part of it. So I'm going to rip the capture flap. I like having this there for storing a jacket, or in this case, I'm going to take my big blade with me. And then this just rips open. So I can get access to the entirety of the inside of this bag. So first thing I'm going to put in there, I kind of have to pack this in reverse order. So the first thing I'm going to throw in there is things I'm going to get out last. So, well, in this case, I can kind of get to everything, but if I'm accessing the pack from the top, it's kind of nice. So I'm going to throw my Tough Possum Gear XL survival scarf in the bottom. I'll more than likely be sleeping in that. Right now in North Carolina, evenings are pretty warm, and that plus whatever clothes I'm usually wearing is more than enough to get me through just a quick overnight. Yeah, it's just a nice lightweight piece of kit to have. And then secondly, what I'll do is I'll throw my poncho. This is just a USGI poncho that I've coated a bunch of times with water repellent, so it actually is waterproof. And it's got some tie downs on the outside, like so. So I don't have to try and shove a stick through the grommet. I can shove a stick through that part as well. So that'll go into the bottom. And so I've got my bag and then my shelter. And then what I'll do is I'll throw my rope kit. This is all of my cordage I'll need, ridgeline, some tie outs, a little bit of expendable cordage, all in this kind of mesh bag from Tough Possum Gear. So I'll get layered in like that. And then probably the next thing I'll throw in there is my cook kit, which in this case is just a little 32-ounce pot. And yeah, it's tied on the top because I have my food in here, as well as some extra fire lighting equipment. So like some dry tinder, some Vaseline cotton balls, an additional ferro rod. But yeah, it's just really small and lightweight, and that's more than enough for one person. So I'll go into there on the top, and then my medical kit, which has everything I'll need for any kind of injuries I'll be dealing with out there. I don't have any kind of medication that I need to take, so which is great, and I'll, you know, reduce a lot of weight. The one thing I don't have the box for, but it's in my truck right now, is my electronics kit. That would kind of get smushed in here as well, and that would be a charger, my phone, which I'm filming on right now, but a charger that has a full charge on it, and yeah, basically anything to just keep my phone running. So that'll be in there. And then yeah, so that's basically the inside. Again, we're just going for a overnight, so I don't need to overpack. I see a lot of people overpack a lot. I'm gonna throw a silky gomboy in there, just because if I want to do some camp projects while I'm out there, again, just trying to enjoy myself. It's nice to have a bigger saw than my little Swiss Army knife. Yeah, then the pack just zips up, and that's the inside layer. So that's my sleeping gear, my food, and my shelter, and basically everything I need. And when I rip the pack open, if I need to get to the top, my first aid kit is right there. So just be thinking about that when you're packing your gear. Maybe you have your more essential items up towards the top, so it's like first aid, fire starting, and then my poncho is right here, so I can just rip those two things out, get my poncho, throw it on if it was raining, and then put the things back. In the front here, I'm going to throw my big blade of choice. I'm probably just going to take this guy just to play around with, just using this one tool, which I've done before, but this is my Hobo Forge Heavy Instructor with a West River survival pouch on the outside. Pretty big blade, but more than enough to do just about anything in the Appalachian jungle here. It's got carrying straps set up on it so that I can carry it over the shoulder if I want to. Yeah, so that will just get clipped right there. Super nice and easy. Just like so. And now it's accessible even when it's on there, so I can set my pack down, hack out a trail, and keep going. So yeah, so that'll go there. And then next thing is my water system. Y'all may have noticed I'm not having a water system on the outside just yet, so that's where this guy comes in. I have a Grail that I really enjoy using. This is the TI version, but I had the regular version beforehand and I loved it. So they're kind enough to send me the titanium one, and I really have been loving it in about year and a half that I've had it. Boiled in it, no issues whatsoever. So we're just gonna throw it on the bottle pocket here, which is expandable. It's kind of a mini review of the Bandit. But yeah, so that'll go in there. Tighten it down, stays close to the pack body. And then, you know, that could be more than enough for this trip, is just that, because I'll be working along a stream, so I can just keep scooping and drinking water as needed. I could throw another container in here, which I might do that. I might do like a small bottle, like my M84 canteen. This one also fits really nicely into the side. Do I have things in here? I might have things in here. A little bit of tinder. Yeah, that slides really nicely just into that side pocket. So yeah, I could run it like that with 2 bottles, but more than likely I'm just going to run it with the one, since I'm only out for an overnight. I'm going to be camping by a creek, so I can get up and get water as needed. I can boil in this container. I could boil in the pot that's in my bag if I needed it. But yeah, so that's the overall pack list. I'll have, you know, those 3 things in my belt or on my pocket. Be wearing appropriate wear, so I won't be wearing just a short sleeve. I might have a jacket on, pants, closed-toed shoes, and I'll throw an extra pair of socks in here as well. But yeah, I'm gonna weigh the bag and I'll show you all what it weighs. So as y'all can see here, I have the bag hanging up on the scale. There's just a little backpack scale from Ozark Trail, and it's about 13 pounds, 12 3/4. You know, got my dinner, my breakfast, that's about it. If I anticipate to stay overnight longer, I could be fine. But yeah, so that's basically the pack. And yeah, I'll film some footage of me doing the overnight. But yeah, I just figured I'd show, you know, what I think of when I go on a small overnight expedition. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. And please like, subscribe, share. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.